Hello again. Here's question 3 from 2014, and we've got a graph here, and we have to now draw the graph of something which is 2 times that. Okay, so we've just got to work out what transformations have taken place. Remembering we do them in the order D, R, T. That's dilations, reflections, and translations. So let's have a look here. That 2 at the front gives us a dilation by a factor 2 in the y direction, or in other words, everything's stretched by 2 in the y direction. That's the only dilations. We have a reflection here from that negative sign, so we reflect in the y-axis. That's because the minus is inside the bracket. If the minus had been outside near that 2, it would have been in the other axis, but because it's in the bracket, we reflect in the y-axis. And then we've got a translation, the one on the end will go 1 up. So let's see what happens to all these various points on here. Okay, I'll just move it down a little bit. Okay, dilate by a factor of 2 in the y direction. So that 1 becomes 1 times 2, everything becomes times 2. So that 1 becomes 1 times 2, it ends up there. Then you reflect it in the y-axis, and of course that stays the same, and then you translate it 1 up, so that will end up there. So that is that point there. If I put a cross on the original, that'll end up with that dot there at 3. Let's try another point now. Let's try this point over here. We started off an open circle at the point 5, -1. If I dilate it by a factor of 2, it'll come down to here. I should do this in different colours, shouldn't I? I'll start off in red and I'll finish up somewhere. Anyway, here we go. That's dilating by a factor of 2. Now if I reflect it in the y, at the moment it's 5 minus 2, it'll be minus 5 and 2, so that'll bring it right over here. That's reflecting in the y. And then 1 up will bring it to here. Okay. And that will just be joined by a straight line, because on the right hand side it will go to the left hand side, so you will have to bear with me here and imagine that this line I'm drawing is completely straight like the one in the question, because I have a bit of trouble drawing straight lines on my tablet that I'm using to make these. Okay, next one I want is let's do the next point along coming this way. This point here, which is at -1 minus 2.5. Dilate by a factor of 2 in the y direction, so that minus 2.5 will go down to -5. Reflected in the y-axis, that'll come over here, there, and now I need to go 1 up, it'll end up there. So that will be taken from my point at the top there, and again, bear with me with my not completely straight lines. It's just trouble with the way I'm doing it. Okay, the next point is the point over here, -2, 0. Dilate by a factor of 2 in the y direction. Well, that doesn't change that at all, because 2 times 0 will give me 0. Reflect in the y, well, that -2 will go over to be the +2, and then 1 up will make it there. So now from there, I'll be, again, that is a perfectly straight line joining the two things, as you can see. -3 minus 1.5. Dilate by 2, that -1.5 will become -3. Reflect in the y-axis, that -3 comes over to +3, and then 1 up, it will finish there. So now I'm over to there. Oh golly, that should be joining that perfectly. Hopefully you can use your imagination. And the -1 minus 1. Dilate by a factor of 2. I go down to there. That's multiplying that -1 by 2, gets me to there. Then I reflect over to there, so I'm up there, and then up 1 will take me to there to finish off. Well, there we go. A slightly imperfect because of wiggly lines, but hopefully you get the idea, because that is that.